Hey, it's Brian from Spreadsheet Sports, and this is the MLB Projection Tool. I wanted to give a brief overview of how to use the tool so you can get a feel for how it works and how to best go about using it each day. So when you first download the file and save it to your computer and open it up, you should get to the Daily Lineups tab. So this is where all of the starting lineups, all of the daily data is going to be included. So you'll want to click this button right here to refresh data to today. So it will go out to the web and pull in data from FanDuel and DraftKings and their player pools, starting lineup information, injuries, and a few other data sources there. So make sure you click that button, and then you should see all of the starting lineups appear. If they haven't yet been posted for the day, a default starting lineup will be used for each team, but you should be able to see the pitchers and each of the starting lineups listed here. There's also a chance of precipitation, so if a game is being played where there may be rain, there might be a chance for delay. You should see the percentage chance right there. So once all of this is set, you can go over to the Projections tab. This is where you have the ability to customize the settings that you'd like to use. Wanted to call to attention the fantasy site setting right up here in the top left in yellow. So if you are trying to create a lineup for FanDuel, make sure you have this set to FanDuel, and likewise for DraftKings. So this is where all of the different adjustments can be applied. You can also choose what baseline projections you'd like to use. So early in the season, right now, there hasn't been season-long data. Last 14, last 7 days data to use. So everything would be based on the preseason projection using the Steamer projection system. But as the season goes on, you can use a combination of values in here. Just make sure that when you add them up, they add up to 1. And then all of these different adjustments, I won't go into detail behind the math behind all of them. You can check out the user guide for that. But this will adjust scoring for each batter based on different factors such as the strength of the opposing pitcher, their throwing hand, and each of those batters' history against that particular throwing hand pitcher. There's ballpark adjustments in place, and there's also batter versus pitcher, so historical situations against that same pitcher. And you can decide which of these you want taken into account in your projections. As you kind of go through, you can see all of the different stats down here at the bottom for each player. You'll see mostly the pitchers listed first, and then you'll get into the batters. If you scroll all the way across to the right, you'll see their final customized projection for the day. If we get down to the batters, you can see a few here. So this is all of the data that's going to be used once you find a optimal lineup. So once all of this is set, you can go over here to the Hunches and Exclusions tab. All of the known injuries are going to be refreshed down here in the bottom left. You can also manually exclude players. If there's certain players that you definitely don't want to include in a lineup, you can list them there, as well as teams that you don't want included. So if you're playing in a late contest, or there's several games that have the potential to get rained out and you don't want to include any players from those teams, you can put the team abbreviation in that column right there. You can manually adjust fantasy point projections for players. If there's a certain player that you don't think the projection is correct, you can add points to it. So if I want to put Miguel Cabrera in here, and I see his projection is 4.16, and I think that is too low. I think he's going to have a big game. I can add 2 points to his projection. So now that's his new projection, and that's what will be used throughout the tool. I can also guarantee players in my lineup, so if I definitely want Mike Trout in my lineup today, I can put him on the list there, and any lineup that I create will definitely have him in it. And you can also upload your own custom projections. If you have another site that you trust for your projections, you can upload them here. Just have the player name, make sure the player names listed the same as they are on FanDuel or DraftKings, and then your projection right there. So once that's set, you can move over here to the Optimal Lineup tab, and you have two major buttons right here, so the Run Model and the Send to Solver. You also have these stack settings right here. So if there's a particular team that you want to have a stack in your lineup for, so say you want 3 Rockies on your team, so you would put the team abbreviation in there, Colorado, and 3 players that you'd like to stack. And once you kind of go through any other settings that you'd want to apply here, so there's 2 different options. So there's the Run Model button, which if you click this, which I'll go ahead and do right now, the Excel Solver plugin is going to start running. You'll see the progress bar in the bottom left down here as far as how much time it has left to run. But it's going to run through all of your custom projections and find the best possible lineup based on those projections, which will appear in this box above. You can also click the Send to Solver button if you'd like to generate multiple lineups at once. If you're looking to play several lineups in a GPP or something like that, you can hit that Send to Solver button, and it'll take it over to the other file, and then you can run your lineups there. So it's finished running now. This box popped up that said Keep Solver Solution, so hit OK. And once you do that, you'll see everything change. So you'll see I have 3 Rockies in my lineup. So I have Rosario LeMahieu and Charlie Blackmon, and I also have Mike Trout, since I wanted to make sure I guaranteed him in my lineup. So that looks like everything is good to go. I can also click this Send to Solver button, as I mentioned earlier. So it's going to jump me over to that other file, the MLB Solver file. And you'll see a similar list of settings here. I can go through over on this side and exclude players. So if I definitely don't want James Shields as my pitcher, I can put a big X there. If I want to lock in a certain pitcher, if I definitely want Samardzija as the pitcher in my lineup, I can hit the lock button there, and then I can choose over here on the left the number of lineups that I'd like to generate. Same stack settings that you see before. I'm not going to hit this button because it's going to take a bit of time, but then I can hit the Run Model button, and it will find the number of lineups that I request. If you jump over here, this is kind of what you'll see in the final output. You'll have the players listed, and you'll see 10 different lineups here, and that will be what you can use. You'll see the top lineup listed first, and it will kind of go down the line from there and find the next best lineup each time. So you can always go back and make any changes. If you want to lock or exclude any additional players or change your stack settings, and then go through and run it again. But that is it in a nutshell, and that's how you can use the MLB Projection Tool.